Hi, welcome back. Thank you for taking part in this presentation on foreign direct investment, political risk, and international investment promotion. As I mentioned before, we're going to move forward with part two of this course or this mini seminar by discussing the why not part of the equation, the reward part of the risk reward analysis that foreign companies look to when they're considering whether and where to expand their operations. We'll move back to the PowerPoint presentation, and please remember that I will be happy to field any questions following the completion of this presentation through your representatives. As you can see, we're back with the slide from A.T. Kearney, which really is a microcosm of how surveys reveal evidence suggesting that foreign investors and multinational companies' primary concern of going into certain foreign markets and emerging market countries is political risk. Now, everyone has a different definition of political risk, and it's very important that we identify the scope of the political risk so that we're all on the same page. In an effort to provide you with more information on this topic, we're going to move forward with establishing the scope, explaining the specific political risks, identifying ways in which they can be assessed, and then moving forward with strategies for managing, mitigating, deterring political risks from manifesting into significant problems. So, as I mentioned, the definition varies from professional to professional, from industry to industry. This definition is the most appropriate and defines the scope of political risk in the most effective way. Political country risk impact on investors. The risk of a strategic, financial, or personnel loss for a firm because of such non-market factors as macroeconomic and social policy regulations and events related to political instability. What we distill out of this definition that is of primary importance for everybody to remember is that we've got two major terms here of events or specific policies associated with host governments that impact projects. We're going to look at first policies and regulations. Those are acts by legislators, regulatory authorities that impact foreign investors. And then there's the events that are either take place with the government or are somehow associated with the government in that they are events challenging the authority of the government that impact foreign investors. So when we look at that, we look at riots, coups, civil war, insurrection, and we're all familiar with those terms and how they can impact foreign investments, but the ways in which they can be assessed and managed are not as obvious or well known to people in investment promotion agencies and with multinational companies. So when we look at policies and regulations, we want to look specifically at what are the political perils that cause losses to foreign investors. From a policies and regulations standpoint, we have a direct expropriation is the most common historically way in which host governments can affect foreign investors. More specifically, what happens is host governments rule by decree or by law that an investment of a foreign investor officially becomes the property of the host government. So recently, we've had a number